Welcome to the deep dive. So we've got this huge challenge, right? 3 million immigration cases just sitting there in the system. It really demands some fresh thinking.
Absolutely. It's a staggering number.
And our source material today puts forward a pretty bold idea, deploying 10,000 temporary judges. And get this, they'd be equipped with existing AI tech working right here in the U.S.
Yeah, it's quite a proposal, almost like a shortcut maybe to grappling with this whole crisis.
Exactly. So our mission today, our deep dive, is really focused. We want to unpack this plan, look hard at the potential cost, the timeline they're suggesting, and crucially, what it all means for fairness.
And what's really striking, I think, is the scale and the focus. It's not just about the border, it's about tackling the backlog directly,
Right. Processing.
Processing, using this surge of temporary judges with AI helping them sort through the complexities. It's, it's certainly ambitious, a direct shot at that massive number.
Okay, so let's jump right into that timeline. Because honestly, when you hear 3 million cases, your mind immediately goes to like decades, right?
For sure, the current waits are immense.
But this plan, it talks about maybe 6 to 12 months just for setup, and then aiming to clear the backlog in another 4 to 18 months after that.
Which could mean potentially wrapping things up by January 2028.
That's incredibly fast compared to the, 10 to 15 years people might wait now in the courts.
Yeah, and even compared to estimates for a purely AI-driven approach, which might still take a year or two. So this human-AI combo is pitched as, faster than the alternatives.
But what are the big assumptions there? I mean, how do they make that speed seem possible?
Well, it really hinges on a few big ifs. You need super fast recruitment and training for this huge temporary judicial force, and the AI tools. They'd have to integrate seamlessly, like right away.
Makes sense. And if they pull it off, you see the human side, right? Cutting wait times could change lives.
Oh, definitely. Reduce immense hardship. But the logistics of setting up something that massive that quickly, that's a huge hurdle, a really big ask.
Okay, now the money, the big financial question.
Yeah.
The source gives a range, what was it, $4.3 billion for 1 year, maybe up to $7.5 billion for 2.
Yeah, that's the ballpark. And it sounds like a lot of money, because it is.
It is. But then the source immediately draws this comparison that kind of reframes it. The estimated cost of mass deportation, a mind-boggling $315 billion.
Right, and suddenly that, 4 to 7 billion figure looks, comparatively smaller. Less daunting, maybe.
It shifts the conversation, doesn't it? Puts the focus on efficiency. Suggests maybe investing in processing these cases could actually be the more economically sound way forward.
So the main costs driving that estimate would be things like salaries and benefits for those 10,000 judges, right? Plus buildings, courtrooms, tech support.
And the AI systems themselves maintaining those.
Exactly, but comparing it to deportation costs really highlights that potential for a maybe more resource-efficient approach. Still, securing billions in funding, that's going to need a very strong argument.
Definitely. Okay, let's talk fairness. Because speed is one thing, but it can't sacrifice due process, right?
Crucial point, absolutely.
The source does emphasize ensuring fairness. It mentions using AI for analysis and also points out a humanitarian angle. Holding hearings domestically could mean higher approval rates, maybe keep families together.
Which is a powerful argument. The AI, in theory, could offer more consistency, maybe reduce some human biases if it's done right. And yes, domestic hearings give people a much better shot at presenting their case properly.
But what are the risks? I mean, relying on temporary judges plus new-ish AI, could things go wrong? Could fairness suffer in the rush?
That's the big concern, isn't it? Temp judges, potential AI errors, maybe biases baked into the algorithms themselves. You'd need incredibly robust oversight to make sure due process is actually protected. You can't just assume fairness happens.
Right. So, looking back briefly, the source kind of reminds us that we've tried other things, haven't we? Adding more traditional judges under Obama and Biden didn't fully solve the backlog.
No, those are incremental steps. Important, but not enough for this scale of problem.
And then you have things like large-scale deportations under Eisenhower or Clinton, which had their own immense costs, human and financial.
Exactly. So this 10,000 AI-assisted judge model, it feels like something genuinely different, a kind of hybrid fix proposed for now, for 2025. It underscores the need for thinking outside the usual boxes.
So boiling it down, what are the main trade-offs presented here in the source material?
Well, it seems to be this. You get the potential for much, much faster processing, plus a potential boost to fairness through those domestic hearings and the AI analysis. That's the upside.
And the downside?
That downside is the significant upfront cost. We're talking billions. And just the sheer complexity of actually implementing something this huge, this fast, hiring the people, setting up the tech, the oversight. It's massive.
Okay, so it leaves us with that central question, really. Could this ambitious plan actually clear the immigration backlog effectively? Or are there better ways, other alternatives we should be looking at?
Yeah, that's the core question. And I think the proposal forces you, the listener, to think about the current system's costs, both human and financial, which are enormous.
Right, it makes you ask, what value should we place on these kinds of innovative solutions, even if they are expensive and incredibly complex to pull off?
Exactly. What's the right balance here between speed, cost, and fairness when we're trying to address such a critical and frankly human challenge, something to really mull over?